Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. We have finally and most likely formed a local bottom. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you what I'm expecting going forward because I've been speaking about these levels for the past, let's just say 10 or so days, going over and just saying where we're going to most likely find support. And we have found support where we are now. Okay. Now I'm going to get into what I've been doing with my allocation, getting into what I'm expecting going forward and levels to the upside and downside for potential positions. If you've been following my videos, you'll be able to see I've been looking and eyeing off the current region we're in, and we've found already a 6% bounce. So it's already been pretty sizable. Without further ado, let's dive straight in. All right, if we want to get straight to the charts of here, what we can see is we found our footing at $80,000 and we've since had a solid increase. That bounce has been approximately 8% from the bottom to the top, around 8%. Now, in my videos, I was speaking about this. Would have been upwards of $30,000 profit if I was holding them. But I'm really sitting here looking at longs in this region. I'm just going to wait till we get there. If we don't get there, then I'm not going to be taking any positions. So, upon reaching these regions, specifically the monthly level, I allocated some spot portfolio. I haven't taken a leverage position yet, as I do think we are still in a bit of a sketchy situation, okay? Because we'll get into that. But first of all, what we hit was a monthly level, and there's also a few other levels down here. So the weekly and daily is still down below us. But the reason I took this position is because we came into the value area low of the range and we found our bounce back. So if we want to zoom in on what that looked like, we bounced in, came back up, and then we found that increase up back into the value area low, which is this red one. Here, found resistance up here, found the weekly support, did this really weird range which we've formed here, and now we're bouncing around. So obviously, since that, what you can see, what we formed specifically is let me just pull that all off so you can see clearly. We've formed another range here. So we obviously have our major transaction volume down around 84,000 and our value area high at 85,200. So it was a very technical trade and it was a spot allocation. I'm a bit skeptical yet because I know we're coming into the zone where we should be finding that bottom, but it isn't looking crazy good right now because obviously I'm talking locally, right? So I'm pretty convinced that there's a solid likelihood that was the low, although I'm not going to rule anything out and I'm going to be very taking it step by step. In terms of my spot allocation, what did I enter out? I was thinking it was around $84,000. So if we go back here and then reject beneath, I'm going to be closing my position. If we find support there and keep going, I'm going to hold it. I just find that if we lose that value area or the POC around this region, I have no reason to believe that we're not going to be taking out this low and then heading towards our more lower levels around $78,000 if we do that. Let's have a look what we hit here. Did we hit any support? Yeah, so we came into the VWAP. We haven't had any sort of extreme resistance there yet, but that's that. What else do we have here? Yeah, so what I would say to everyone watching this is we fell out of a few ranges here. So that's range 1. And this is range 2. So we were trading with this range, fell out of it, and then we briefly traded within this range here. So you can see over here we found support, rejected back on the POC, and then obviously there's a few single prints here. So this region here had also a little bit of support come in, but as a whole, it's pretty bland in terms of support. So we sort of just fell through those levels. And now one would say we've entered our next range, which is over here. So now we're ping-ponging around this region. So it's nothing exceptional as what we're seeing right now. What if we broke out of this range? That's very, very good support. But by the time it's there, you're already too late. So that's why I've already put allocation in. And if we do fail, I will take that very small, probably break-even position. I'm probably not going to lose on the spot. That's why leverage is quite risky, especially now, considering there is a high likelihood the bear market's restarted, right? So yeah, very, very dangerous. But as you can see, we fell out from range 1, range 2. We're back in range 3 from the beginning here. In terms of our swing failure pattern levels, we got one down here. And then really that's what I'm looking at in terms of the levels. If we look at the weekly here, which is something I've been pointing to, we're getting to a point where we're coming close to forming a green new dot on our momentum indicator on our market cipher and our weekly level here for our stochastic. So to me, it shows the move is exhausting, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to rocket up instantly. So I think most likely we'll start to form something like this. Get the drawing tool. Is it the drawing tool here? There we go. So something that looks like this potentially, or this, where you drag out a bit longer, come up, range, and then go back up again. I think we should really find our price in terms of where we're going to bounce back up into. You could view this as another range, right? So range 1, 2, 3, 4, crash beneath, come back into this range. We'd be looking at around $96 to $300 for our major levels of resistance. And a key point would be claiming above that $87,000 region, which also lines up here. So that would be our acceptance back into that major range, which would then open up. If we want to look at this in ranges, right? So range 1, range 2, and range 3. So what we can see here, if we can, so right now we're ping-ponging within, we found the support here. We're now above the POC. We're probably going to reject here, swing around a bit. If we then drag out down, then I'll be expecting for new lows. But if we trade here for a bit, claim above this, so you have the high here, then I'd be looking up to that level here, which is $96,000, which is another 10% increase in price. So if my spot portfolio here doesn't get taken out, then that will be what would happen. But if we go down to take out those lows, then a different trade would be activated. And the specific trade I'd be looking for on the low side would be the swing fair pattern low of here. Now, if that were to fail, well, damn, we're in for some trouble. But if that were to fail, I'd be looking at the next range, which is down here, with major support at 67 and 62, which is already beneath those all-time highs, which would coincide within that region there. Okay, so really, there's a few levels here, but we're really coming into support, and we should be really finding a bottom within this region here and this region here. If not, the next region is down here. You got very high, you got swing fair pattern low, you got all this. So very, very strong support. I feel like a lot of buyers would step in there. But here's my belief here, guys. Let me pop the main up. I think we're coming into the slowdown of this move down, okay? I've been highlighting this move. I've been very bearish the whole way down here, highlighting what I'm expecting, highlighting levels of support and resistance, etc. Now, after all my experience in trading, price never goes down forever. And I know a lot of people are very scared. They've lost all their money here. They've lost everything. A lot of people have been liquidated here, okay? Like throughout this whole time move down. Now, looking at the chart and what I'm seeing and what I'm told, all my different sources which I receive information, and how I'm interpreting this also from an intuitive angle, my gut is telling me that we're slowing down in this downtrend. Now, this downtrend might go a bit lower, but that's why I've already taken a swing spot long here. Now, if I get stopped out of that long, that's okay. I'll look for entry down at those $74,000 regions if we do get there. That being said, I do expect a dead cat bounce to appear here. I don't expect it to rocket up instantly right now. And if it does, it'll be a pleasant surprise, but I think it's going to drag it a little bit longer, dry the sentiment, make everyone feel like we're going to get ready for the next leg down. And we might have a next leg down, which might stop everyone's longs out if they're in leverage, right? But I just want to sit here and say, I think the majority of that move's done. And I know that's nothing groundbreaking, but even in the bear market, we're going to have bounces, right? And I think we're definitely coming to that point where you're going to expect a bounce relatively soon, days to weeks, or the low might be in right now. I'm not going to speculate with that low's in right now. That being said, I did take the trade on the spot position. So if you are wanting to get in, I got in at $84,000 as a good region to look for. Now, the invalidation for that would be if we go back down beneath that. So we are in profit right now, but if we go back down beneath that, I'll start to think that's quite bearish on a market structure viewpoint. So, and I'd be expecting to take out the lows. Specifically, I'd be looking at $80,000 first and then $74,000, okay? Other than that, I will be taking this step by step. If I ladder in more in my position, I will let you know. And I will do a further update going forward. But other than that, I just want to say, guys, stay safe out there. And if you want to trade, on different exchanges. I've got exchange links beneath in the description, one for Bybit and one for MEXC. Trading on those exchanges helps my channel grow. It helps me make better trades so you guys can follow along with me. And yeah, don't wipe yourself out with leverage if you're going on there. In fact, I just encourage using spot. But if you do want to use leverage, go for it. But use those exchange links there if you're new to the market or you don't have an account, or if you just want to help support the channel and help this channel grow. Because very soon I'm planning to grow this channel a lot, expand what I'm offering, and yeah, really help traders develop in the marketplace, because I know how brutal it can be from my 4 years of doing this. So I would say don't panic on this way down. And if we do drop, I don't think it's over. I think the most of the drop's behind us, and it would take quite the move down to, I'd say it would surprise me a lot to then just nuke from here on a really, really extravagant scale. So that would be my take, guys. I will update you tomorrow or the next day, regardless of the fact. You're going to be getting updates regardless, guys, so don't worry about that. Anyway, use the links, guys. Like the video, subscribe. Leave a comment on what you think, and I will catch you later in the next update.